Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Hello out there in Radio Land. This is Hank Hill, Assistant Manager, Strickland Propane. Come on down to Strickland where you can get a great deal on the new Char King 320 propane grill. We have other propane grills and propane accessories for your grilling needs. So come on down. Mention this ad for an extra 5% off of your next propane tank fill-up. That's Strickland Propane, Harlan, Texas. Have a great day.
I tried to fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Wah, King of the Hill Rewatch Podcast. I am Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
Rusty, we're back from a not really planned break.
No, you know,
Yeah.
I think it was the end of the year blues. Got a little,
We got a little
sniffles.
Got a little ill. Yeah.
Yeah, a little
Nothing
sniffles.
big.
Nothing
but,
huge. Just, I
I'm
think
alive.
it's just some seasonal. What'd you say there, Mason?
I'm alive.
He's alive.
In case
Mason-
anybody was
Mason's
wondering.
here.
Man, Mason got sick. I got sick. Rusty got sick.
Yeah, just
crazy.
I think it's just some seasonal. It was just the weather
Yeah,
changes because
yeah.
one day it's 10, the next day it's
Yeah.
40, and then the next day it's like
Well,
68.
Literally a week from today, it was 15. Today, it's about 75 degrees outside.
Yeah, easy. Like
Yeah.
I wore a sweater and regret every
Yeah.
minute of it
Yeah.
stepping outside.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it is
Nuts.
I think that's what is. It's that seasonal
Oh,
shift.
sure. Yeah.
Because Texas never knows what season it is.
When you end up sniffing and snorting a lot and snorting all that crap in and all that stuff. So.
Yeah, don't snort crap.
Welcome to our mucus podcast.
Our mucus podcast.
So we are at season 3, episode 9.
Season 3, episode 9.
Pretty dresses.
And this is to kick off the new year, guys. Yeah, this
Yeah.
will be our first
Yeah,
Monday
that's right.
episode of the year.
So this one starts before the credits. We've got Bill and everybody else out in the alley.
Yeah.
And he just starts sobbing.
Sobbing. Just
Sobbing.
a good old hard sob.
And you hear sleigh bells playing in the background.
Yeah.
And you know the thing I took from this that I really liked
What's that?
is so you hear the sleigh bells, so you know it's Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
But the grass is brown outside. That's a good little tip they put in there because
Yeah.
Texas, I mean, the grass turns brown
It
during
does.
the winter.
It
right?
does turn brown.
But
Yep.
yet all the guys in the alley are standing around with short sleeve shirts. So that's very much what we were talking about.
It
with
is
the
very
weird,
much what we were talking
yeah,
about. You
yeah.
don't know whether it's short. What like in Texas in the wintertime, you leave outside, it may be
Oh, yeah.
30 degrees, but by
Yeah.
midday it's 70.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a 40-degree difference in a day. Well, I
Yeah.
don't think that like people complain about being cold or being hot or whatever
Right,
wherever
right.
their climates are. But is there anywhere else in the United States where you experience
I don't know.
3
Maybe
seasons in a day?
maybe the desert, like Arizona or someplace like that, New Mexico. I don't know. You guys tell us.
Yeah, I'm not really sure
But
either. I
it
know.
is-
I know
it's a huge swing.
It's just too big of a swing. Well, I guess the desert does do that.
And then, God forbid, it rains here for 5 minutes. Then the temperature changes abruptly also.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I don't know. Texas is weird.
So we go right into the credits. No bell, no yell.
No bell, no yell.
We are back in the alleyway with everybody. Bill is still sobbing like crazy. And we still hear sleigh bells ring, that thing playing in the background.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
He's crying, and then he goes, "I do love Christmas," just like that, just
While
just
he's
like from one to
sobbing
the
through
next.
Christmas.
I do
Yeah,
love
he's
Christmas.
sobbing through this whole sentence.
I'd like to celebrate the anniversary of when Lenore left me 7 years ago, Christmas Eve. Best thing that ever happened to me. Yep. And Hank, and the rest of the guys not knowing what to say.
Well, that's nice, Bill.
nice, Bill.
Yeah. What do you say to that?
He said, I tell you what, holidays are the least lonely time of the year. And then he just walks off sobbing and crying.
Yeah, this whole episode's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of dark
It is. It's very dark.
for a Christmas episode. Usually you don't get Christmas episodes covered in suicide. Like this
yeah,
whole
it's true.
thing is
That's true.
like,
I guess we do need to
undertones
make
of
like
his-
a little disclaimer, right?
yeah, we can,
Yeah.
So suicide is real. It's affected me personally in my life.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot of good people in my life to suicide. Really, really close friend in 2016 decided to take his life that way. Just remember, everybody, you are not removing the pain from the world when you do that to yourself. You're just passing it on to 100 other people.
That's true.
So, if you're going through hard stuff in life, hey, reach out to us. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you. Like I said, I've dealt with it too much in life.
Absolutely.
And it's really crazy because I asked my dad, did this phenomenon exist in your childhood or your youth when you were in your teens and 20s? And he said he couldn't think of a soul
Really?
that had killed himself through his 60s, 70s, 80s. It wasn't until the 90s that he was in his late 30s when a friend killed himself. But up until that point, he had never experienced it. He never had to deal with it. It's something that just wasn't
It's the GMOs.
in his. Yeah, it's the GMOs.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that we give that all the serious.
Get all the serious stuff out of the way before we try to make fun and light of suicide.
So Hank walks off saying, I feel like a cookie. Bill's always got some cookies laying around, probably. And so he walks off and he goes over to Bill's.
Bill is a cookie.
He goes into Bill's house because the door is just wide open. And you see
Bill? Yeah.
well, you see all of the old Christmas decoration everywhere. The Lenore stocking, the Lenore presents.
But it's kind of weird how everything's just splayed through the house. He
Yeah.
doesn't really have.
Well, he's halfway
it's
through
like
wrapping
he's
the
halfway
toaster.
through wrapping the toaster that's
Yeah.
been sitting there already. It's probably got breadcrumbs in it, and he's wrapping it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So he just asked for him, and Bill comes out of the kitchen sniffling. He's, "Oh, hey, buddy. I was just cleaning up for baby Jesus' birthday," as he pushes everything aside and tries to hide everything. And Hank says, "Well, good. Just wanted to make sure that you'd be coming over for dinner, until the holidays are over." So this is, I guess, a yearly thing. They have to have Bill over just so he doesn't kill himself.
Yeah, it's the suicide watch for Bill week.
Yeah.
Which that's the thing that I didn't really get a lot about this episode is I don't know if I had a friend that was struggling that bad. They literally have watches to watch this
Yeah.
guy. I feel like you would have to have your buddy committed at this point if this is a
No kidding,
yearly
man. No
yearly
kidding.
thing. Because how long has Lenore been gone at this point? Almost a decade. I think
Yeah, I
in
think he
another
said 7
episode,
years.
7 years.
Yeah, he said 7
in
years
this
earlier.
episode. Yeah. So it's like 7 years of you watching your buddy every
7
Christmas.
years is a long damn time.
That's a long time.
He says, "I'm just cleaning up for baby Jesus' birthday," as he's hiding everything. And Hank says, "Well, I just want to make sure you're coming over." And he says, "Oh, yeah, I'm coming," while he's hiding the dead Christmas tree in the closet. The dead Christmas tree that is the same one since Lenore. The holidays stopped when she left.
Yeah, that's it.
So
yeah,
he
it was
just
it was-
kept
he's
everything.
stuck in a. It's like Groundhog Day. He's stuck
Yeah.
in a time warp.
He says, "I've cleaned my calendar through the end of the year and a good chunk of the next." Okay, Bill.
Yeah.
He says, "Bill, these old gifts aren't for Lenore, are they?" He goes, "Oh, no. She'll come back. She'll be happy. I saved everything." He said, "Bill, you got to face the facts. She's not." And then Bill starts breaking down.
Yep.
He says, "Well, it's very unlikely that," and then Bill breaks down a little more. And he says,
Well,
"Well, I guess you never know. Freakish things
things
do
do
happen."
happen,
And
yeah.
Bill's just like, yes, they do. Thank you." So now we're at the dinner table at the Hills house. You got Bill, you got Hank, you got Peggy, you got Luann and Bobby. And Peggy, unaware of anything ever, says she's going through envelopes. She says, "I've received a few more responses for our party. Rudy Beaker, yes, VIP.
VIP.
And then Bill. This is this is one of the funniest things to me here, that he just is going to bring everybody down with him.
Oh, he does. Every chance he gets, he has to bring you down with him.
He says,
yeah.
"All this talk about people makes me think about breakups."
Breakups.
You ever think about that dead boyfriend of yours, Luann? She goes, well. He says, "Wonder if you'll ever find someone again." I mean, most people just get the one relationship in this life. And then it just goes to Peggy and Luann, and their mouths are just agape. I mean, just like, What the hell?
Yeah, that is.
Peggy
wow.
finally cluing in says, Luann, honey, you can help me serve at the party. You were such a wonderful host last year. And Luann's still just dazed. She's like, what? Bobby, of course, not clued in yet. I can help, Mom. I'll be the hostess with the mostest. And, of course, that makes Hank sigh. Bill then says, Mary Margaret, wasn't that the name of the girl who dumped you, Bobby? He said, Marie. Oh, Marie. Yeah, she was cute.
There's a continuity issue here, too, I wanted to talk about. So
What's
if you
that?
look at his plate, when they first talk about it, you see all you see on Bobby's plate is some red. It's just like a pile of red,
Okay.
anonymous, and it's just like a small little bit.
Okay.
And then when you see it again, it's brown, and it's like the whole plate. It's like abundance. Of
Well,
it on the
maybe
plate.
it
So it's like a weird animation
like started
thing.
to melt.
Maybe it started to melt.
And as
I
it
don't know.
melts, it loses color.
Maybe.
I don't
I don't know either.
I
That's like
don't
a
know
weird
that I would
continuity
want to
thing.
eat what Peggy makes anyway.
Well, no, I'm not sure. We
Peg-
can't mess up eggs and bacon. So if it was eggs and bacon, maybe can you?
Oh man, yeah,
Can you mess up a
it
fried
up.
egg?
Oh yeah,
You could overcook
you
or
can
undercook
overfry
it, right?
yeah, or undercook it. Yeah. I don't like it when it gets like that little lace stuff around the edges. That means you're cooking it too fast.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, it
I
gets
know
like
what you're talking
crispy
about.
around the edge. I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah,
that
yeah.
part. I don't want a crispy egg. She says, well, maybe we can talk about something else. He goes, oh, yeah, sure. Remember Bob Cecil, Peggy? You went to a basketball game together. You liked him. She goes, well, that was 10th grade. And no, I didn't. He said, yeah, you did, but he didn't like you. And then you get just a very angry Peggy face. Then we see the Hills mailbox. They've got it all done up for Christmas. It's got a wreath on the front of it. Hank says, shouldn't you be doing this? Because Bobby is serving eggs and bacon.
Yeah, he's sitting there serving. Shouldn't you be doing this, Peggy? Yeah.
She goes, he likes serving. After last night's a miracle, I have my appetite back at all. I just don't see why Bill must ruin all of our dinners. And Bobby says, personally, I could live without him. She said, me too.
That's a funny thing in the trivia, too, that I was reading, because they have the trivia or whatever that we go through every week. Well, one of the trivia pieces on this specifically said that fans considered this, I guess this is a consensus among fans, one of the darkest, if not the darkest episode in the entire King of the Hill series.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think
it gets pretty dark.
It does get pretty dark, but there's got to be something darker. Is there anything darker than this? Like out of all 200, whatever episodes it is?
Well, there's the one Halloween episode that they wouldn't show anymore.
The Pygmalion episode, that one, that one's kind of dark too.
I think that's probably as close as you get, though, right?
That one is more disturbing than dark, though. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, that one's more disturbing than dark.
true.
But either way, yeah.
So Hank,
Good stuff.
Hank hearing all this says, Peggy, a little more than 20 years ago, I set Arlen High's single season Russian record.
Yeah, I love this. This is my favorite scene of the whole show
He
here.
says, sure, I had legs like a jackrabbit, but Bill Dotree blocked for me, and a running back who forgets his front line, that's a man I wouldn't want to have dinner with. Shame on you. Shame on you both. He just gets up and leaves.
He's pissed at everybody in the room.
All right, we are back at the dinner table.
Shame on you all.
Yeah, we're back at the dinner table now, and Bill's there. Now he has an iguana.
Yeah, and Peggy's pronunciation of iguana here is pretty funny.
Yeah. He's trying to feed the iguana a little carrot. Yeah, here you go, darling. Come on. Come on, eat up. And Hank just staring at him says, so were they out of the dogs there, Bill? No. Iguanas are very trendy these days. You see them in cigar bars
with movie stars.
Come on, Lenore. Peggy's like, you named it Lenore? He goes, well, yeah, I thought he looked like a Lenore. I think he's just not very hungry right now. I mean, with so many new people. And then he just stares at Luann, and she's like, should I leave? He says, thank you. She just gets up and leaves dinner. That's just nuts.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was weird.
He says he gets out a little like pill bottle and puts a dead roach on the table, or what you think is dead. And he says, don't worry, it's dead, when everybody gasps at it. Then the thing moves its legs, and then the iguana jumps off his shoulder and goes after the damn roach.
On the dinner table, yeah.
It's just
disgusting.
nuts.
That's just rude, man.
Yeah,
it is very rude.
Super rude.
They're kind of gross. My son used to have bearded dragons, and you got to feed them live mice and stuff like that, and then live crickets and things.
No, thank you.
And pretty good on that.
I'm
Actually,
all good.
One of them had a weird thing. It was a female one, and she had this. They had to put her down because she was. They call it.
A lizard sack.
Egg bearing or something, when the egg won't come out and the egg's just like stuck in the little egg area.
You can just like squeeze it out?
No, you can't squeeze it
like
out
toothpaste?
or anything. No, well, that's what I thought you'd be able to do, but it like turns their whole back of their body black.
Oh, Lord.
That's what happened to her. Like her whole back of her body was black, and then they had to put her
I
down.
never wanted an iguana.
I've never wanted any kind of lizard.
God, if I get a
or
lizard,
anything
that'd be
like that.
great. I just have never.
I
Mason,
knew
you ever had a lizard?
Well, when I was in Florida, we saw lizards all the time. I knew some people who, one guy who, some people who had pythons, like the little when they're babies,
Yeah, like the little
You said
pythons.
that was where?
This was when I was still in Florida.
Florida.
Take
Hey,
off
you
from
know, if
Mars.
it gets too cold in Florida, they just like start raining
fall out of the
iguanas.
trees.
Yeah, they'll be on the news and it'll just be
pass
raining
out and fall
iguanas.
out of the trees.
Yeah.
So we are in the bedroom. Hank is folding up his pants. I just love that little thing where the belt's still in the pants and he takes the pants and just folds it in half and puts it on the table. You know, like
signifying that he wears one pair of pants
he's gonna
all
wear
week.
that same pair of pants.
Yeah,
That's right.
Which,
That's
if you're a working man and you're wearing jeans, that's
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
didn't used to wash. That's the whole point of the
That's it.
invention of jean material was to not
Sure.
have to wash your clothes as often.
But Peggy is telling him, I cannot eat another meal with Bill at our dinner table.
No.
Hank says, why? Bill seemed a lot happier tonight. I mean, good God, come on. She goes, honey, that... And how does she say it?
Ijuana.
Ijuana.
Yeah, Ijuana. Or however
It's
she
a cry
says it,
for
yeah.
help. A hissing, disease-ridden cry for help. Then we see the doorknob twisting and somebody
Luann, knock!
Yeah, he's like, he assumes it's Luann. Well, no, it's Bill in his bathrobe just coming on in. He says, I had a bad dream. I dreamt that Lenore came back and stole Lenore, and that Lenore drove off with Lenore, and I ran down the street after him and yelled, Lenore, Lenore, and then my teeth fell out.
And then my teeth fell out. Peggy, you were there. Can I sleep in your living room?
Then my teeth fell out.
This is another one. This is one of my all-time favorite lines in this particular episode. So Hank sighs and he goes, "Yes, Bill."
Yeah.
Letting him sleep on the couch
Yeah.
or whatever. And she goes, "I'm giving you 24 hours to get me out of that man's dreams."
Get me out of that man's
Yeah.
dreams. It's fantastic. All right, we're back in the alley with Bill and Hank and, of course, the iguana. And I'm assuming this is the next day because Bill is asking about dinner. He says, shall we? Hank says, no. He says, you need a minute? He goes, Bill, I want to have dinner with just the family tonight. He says, you don't want me coming to dinner? He said, well, why don't you just take the night to practice being happy, okay? He goes, oh, okay, that's fine. No
Practice
problem.
being
I like
happy.
eating alone. I prefer it even. No offense to your family.
Why can't he? And I know why, but why can't he just eat with? If he has to eat with somebody, why can't it be Boomhauer or?
Well, that's
or,
what I'm saying at this
or,
point, right?
Dale.
Why? Because Hank has to always take charge of the
Yeah.
situation.
Well,
That's what it is.
remember this, guys. Without Bill blocking for him, Hank couldn't have been the lead rusher in Arlen High.
It's true.
So you got to
Bulldozer.
and now he's got a block for the bulldozer.
That's right.
That's what he's doing.
got a block for him in life.
Hank's blocking for him in life, which, if you have any friends like this, they're really not your friends. I don't feel like. If you have to prop them up every day of their life for years
Well,
and years
yes.
and years and years, it's different if, like,
I mean, if it's
they
years
go
and years,
through.
sure.
Yeah, well, at this point, we know it's
Yeah.
been at least 7 years.
Yeah.
that he's
most
been
of a
propping him up.
decade.
Yeah.
If
Most
it's
of a
most of a
decade.
decade, he doesn't want to get better.
That's true.
Personally, like,
That's true.
even after like a year, if there's no like forward progress and you've
Yeah.
tried to help somebody for
Yeah.
a year, that's 6 months too long.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound cold because you know help your friends if you can, but the poor thing is, Bill's again just
Help the
his
friends
friend.
that want help.
I want help, but
Yeah,
also
there you
he's
go.
just your friend. He's not your family. I'm sounding cold right now, but
Yeah,
there's only
yeah.
so much you can do. For
No,
someone
you're
who's not
right.
family.
You're right.
Anybody.
There's only so much you can do.
And
That's
Hank
right.
won't even do what he does for Bill for his own family, for
And
some of his own family members.
The weird thing to me is that later on we find out that Bill's got an extensive family. you
Yeah,
know,
he's got
other
he's got a
places.
big family.
just has no
He comes
idea.
from a big family
Yeah.
too, like a regal
Yeah.
type.
Yeah.
Louisiana,
Yeah,
the
he's just-
bayou.
But I can't imagine like it's fun. I mean, we all know how bad his dad was, and
Yeah.
do we know what happened? Where Bill's mom is? Is she just dead?
I
don't
don't
think
I don't
we know.
remember
Yeah.
them ever saying anything about Bill's mom. So I mean, there could be some turmoil there too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's counterproductive to help somebody the way that they help him, and they don't really help him. They just like, all right, y'all watch and make sure you don't do nothing stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Granted, they're not psychologists. They
Nah,
don't.
they're not.
No.
They're
They
all
don't
a bunch
care
of
about any of this crap.
alcoholics that stand in the backyard and talk about beer and bait and ammo.
Without Bill there, Peggy says it's just wonderful. The food even smells better. They're having their dinner. And then
I guess the stink of Bill takes over the overpowering aroma of the food.
Then we see Bill over at his house trying to make it. Mm-hmm. He fumbles and breaks the one plate he has.
One plate.
And so he
This
then,
is depressing as shit.
Oh, my God.
This scene is awful.
Then he just gets the hot, wet noodles out of the water, flops them on the counter, eats them with a fork, and then drinks the
He doesn't even eat it out of the pan.
No.
So back when I was
eats them off the counter
by myself and cooking for myself and didn't have a wife, you know, there's times where I've cooked spaghetti and ate it straight out of the container. I cooked it in to save on dishes, but he it's just the fact that he scoops it out, slaps it on the counter, and then drinks the cold sauce, because you gotta put the sauce in the pan for the sauce to be warm.
Not only drinks the cold sauce, he glugs it. He's just
like
glug.
Marinara to the head, you know.
So we're back over at the Hills house, and they're just having a grand old time. And Hank is saying, and then the Clint Eastwood character would say, "That propane tank is empty." Everybody laughs. He says, "Wouldn't that be a good movie?" Bobby's like, "Good, that'd be a great movie." And then Lynn says, "Would you direct it, Uncle Hank?" Yeah. "Oh, I don't know, maybe me or your Aunt Peggy. I ever tell you all about how that?" And then we see Bill.
And he goes back to Bill. You know, that's the thing I wanted to talk about.
Staring like a creeper.
How many times has your dad told you a story that you've heard 1,000 times that started out, "Man, I ever tell you about that time?"
Yeah.
Every story from a dad, that's like a dad thing. Like, it's a part of the dad lexicon. You have to have that. "Well, son, did I ever tell you that one story I've done told you 40,000 times yet?"
Man, my dad never tells me stories.
Really?
We just talk about stuff. He never tells me stories. He might have, but
like, what do y'all talk about?
Oh, I have to pull the stories from my dad too. I have to ask for stories.
Talk about stuff's going on in the world.
Oh.
Hey, Dad, if you ever listen to this, tell me more about your past. I want to know more.
There you go. You got to ask, too. I had to ask a lot of stuff for my dad. There's a lot of questions that you just got to, did I ever tell you? Did I ever ask you, Dad, this question? You know.
So Bill is outside just staring like a creeper at the family.
Yeah, he is.
And something finally clicks in him, and he just takes off over to Hank's garage, grabs his ladder, and starts taking off with it. And as he grabs the ladder, he hooks the Christmas lights, and so they start unplugging. Hank sees that, goes outside, and he goes, "Oh, my 10-footer's gone." Dale,
Bill,
probably Dale. What are you doing there, Bill? He sees him over on the next
he's
house.
on the roof fixing the lights.
Yeah. He's on the roof fixing the lights, and he sees Bill over on the top of his house. He says, "What are you doing there, Bill?" He goes,
"Satellite trouble."
"Yeah, I'm just up here to kill myself."
What?
What?
And then he rolls off, falls.
And then Bill just rolls right off the roof.
Well, the thing that blows my mind, too, in this is Hank didn't hit the ladder when he goes to go protect Bill or see if Bill's okay. He jumps off the corner of the house.
Oh, yeah.
He literally slides down the roof, jumps off the roof, and then runs over there.
Hank's tough,
so, you know, this says that, guys, if you eat right, if you eat plenty of red meat, a lot of potatoes, if you mow your yard once a week, if you take care of, all of the honey-do lists.
Love God and your dog.
Love God and your dog, and you'll be able to jump off roofs at 41 years old with no problem.
It's true. And that is where we get a commercial break, and we will take one as well. Hey guys, this is Mike from Bois. I'm here with Rusty, and I wanted to tell you about something that's coming up. RogueCon 23 here in Waco, Texas. This is a Creators Con that we're going to have January 20th through the 22nd. 3 days of family-themed fun. We're bringing creators from all over, and we're talking TikTokers, YouTubers, podcasters, anybody and everybody that creates. We're bringing them here to town. And we're doing it across 6 locations downtown. It's going to be a huge 3-day weekend that I don't think this city's ever seen. It's going to be some cool stuff.
Yeah, not for creator cons. We've never had a creator convention before.
So we're gonna have it at 6 different locations. Like I said, we'll be doing live podcasts. We'll be doing demos, panels. Got a guy who's going to throw some snakes at you. I've got maybe some wrestling. I've got tons of live music, live events. And you can check it all out at roguecon23.com. That is ROGUECON23.com. Get your tickets. It's $10 a day, or you can get the whole damn weekend for $20, which I don't know of any sort of value like that. That's a fantastic value.
That's a steal and a deal.
And in addition, everything you go to those 3 days, you get a ticket for. You take those tickets and you show up on Sunday, throw them in the hopper, and we're going to be giving away prizes.
Oh, wow.
So it's a good
weekend.
weekend.
A lot of prizes.
It's a great way to do some stuff in the new year. Again, January 20th through the 22nd here in Waco, Texas. 6 locations, all in downtown Waco. Go to roguecon23.com for your tickets. Do it now. All right, we are back, and now everybody is out in front of Bill's house because Bill is sitting on his stoop with a sling. He has been taken care of by the group, and now you've got Dale and his wife, and you've got Boomhauer, and you've got Peggy and Hank, and they're all trying to figure out what they're going to do about Bill.
Yeah.
Right. So they're all standing in front of the house, and Peggy says one of the most astute things I've ever heard her say. You know who I feel sorriest for in all this? Bill.
Yeah.
Well, no shit.
Duh.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. Well, that goes to show you how big of a piece of shit Peggy is. If that's her first thought is, you know who I feel sorry for in all of this? Bill.
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Because she
That's
first
the most
considered
obvious.
herself, I'm sure.
First she considered herself. Maybe Bobby and the family after that.
She says, we need to find him a psychiatrist. Hank, having none of this,
This
says,
is crazy.
He's just suicidal, Peggy. He's not crazy. We got to watch him constantly until he snaps out of it. Then Dale pops up and says, I don't think Bill's going to snap out of it. There's nothing we can do but sit back and watch the bloodbath. Hank says, no, he's our friend. Now, Dale, you make your own hours, so you take the day shift. I'll take nights. Boomhauer, late afternoon to early evening. Then Bill says, can I have another codeine, please? So they've been feeding this guy codeine also.
Well, that was because he broke his arm.
Yeah, but come on.
Yeah. They're feeding him codeine.
His arm doesn't stay broke very long, by the way.
No, they're sedating him with codeine.
It's just sprung, I guess. He done sprung.
Yeah, he's a psych patient without the ward at this point. They're taking care of him at home.
He just says, "Can I have another codeine?" And Dale's like, "Quiet, Dale. Quiet, Bill. We're trying to do something over here."
And it's so funny how they infantize him. They infantilize him. They turn him into a kid.
Yeah.
They do that a lot to him. They undermine his adultness.
Well,
and
he
turn
does
him into
act
a child.
like it.
He does.
And he
does
asks
it to himself.
for it sometimes.
Yeah, no, he does. He does. He definitely needs, and that's where it comes back to the conversation earlier where I'm like, is he really your friend?
Yeah.
At this point, you're just
he'll be like, Hank,
an adult
what's my
babysitter.
opinion? You know?
Yeah, what, Hank? Please tell me what I'm supposed to be thinking right now.
Yeah. So now we're
Fall
back.
from grace too. I really hope that when they revamp him, like if they revamp him for the new season, that we get a Bill who has overcome all of these issues.
Oh, I don't.
You don't?
I hope we get a Bill that's worse off.
You think you want a Bill that's worse?
I
don't know. I kind of want to see like like Bill championing himself, and then like the sorrow be passed off to like Dale or something like that. Like I don't know.
I want Bill to not be able to leave his house because he's like 900 pounds now, and they have to
like cut the wall out to get him out.
They have to bury him in a piano box kind of thing. That's what I want. I want that Bill. So Hank and Bill are in Bill's living room. Hank sees a steak knife, number one, and goes, "Ooh, that shouldn't be there," and hides it in the couch like that's going to help.
Yeah.
He says, "So maybe you ought to get to bed and try to sleep this thing off. Sleep off suicide, guys."
Yeah, sleeping it off.
He says, "All I do is sleep. I guess I'm just getting in practice for the big sleep,
the big long sleep."
Hank's like, "Oh God,
God, Bill."
He said, "Come on, Bill.
This
How
is
about
funny
a beer?"
right here. Beers are depressing, Hank.
He goes, Don't be
go blaming the beer.
That's right. So he goes into the kitchen.
Bill, if you are depressed, beer's not going to help you.
That's true. Bill comes running in, sticks his head in the oven, and Hank says,
"It's electric,
Bill." He goes, "Well, it's still getting pretty hot."
Oh wow! So that didn't even click in my head when I watched the show.
Yeah.
Is that really a method of suicide that people have used? Is gassing themselves out in the oven?
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Absolutely, yeah. And so next we see Bill just face down on his bed. There's a tendency in this show for anybody that gets depressed, they just go face down into something. Bobby on the carpet, Bill into the bed.
Yeah,
they just go face down.
They go face down into something. And again, this part of it shows again how they infantilize him and turn him into a big baby all the time.
Sure.
Which he is the character that gets big babied Yeah, Dale gets big babied sometimes, but this like Bill is every episode they're babying him in some way, shape, or form.
Hank says, all right, we'll do this the hard way, and they're in his bedroom now. He says, where do you keep your pajamas? So he starts going through the drawers. Yeah. He says, okay, you want baseball players or what's
this fancy
one? He goes, oh, I like the way silk feels on my skin. Silk's for pantyhose, Bill. He goes, they're all I got. You got a wife. He goes, put them on. He throws the PJs at his head. No, I don't want to. Tells him to put his arms up. He takes off his damn shirt for him.
Yeah, he's dressing him.
He brushes his teeth for him. And then
and that's, I just don't, again, it's just really hard for me to comprehend doing this for another human being at all, changing them, brushing their teeth.
Well, and then he's sleeping next to him, and Bill wakes up and Hank's nodded off, and Bill sticks his head in the drawer of the side table and tries to smack his head in
the drawer. Like, come on, Bill.
Like, damn it, Bill. And then the next one we see is Dale watching over Bill. He is sitting across from him in the living room with a gun in his hand, rifle, and he says,
"Yeah, okay." So that's another thing that the trivia had listed was the fact that prior to this scene, Bill has attempted to kill himself numerous times already, and the fact that Dale is holding a shotgun in his hand, and he doesn't try to challenge Dale to suicide by Dale.
Bill tries to get up, and he goes, "Nuh-uh." He says, "Oh, I have to tinkle." He says, "Not my watch." And
Not
just
on my
cocks
watch.
the gun.
Yeah.
All right, so we are back at Bill's, and now I'm assuming it's a few days later, or maybe the next day. We got Bill depressed in front of the TV, just not moving.
Yeah.
In the kitchen, you've got Dale, Hank, and Boomhauer all talking.
Oh, no, you skipped a whole scene there. You skipped the...
Oh, that's right, because Boomhauer watches him.
So during Boomhauer's watch, Boomhauer's at the bar with a chick.
Well, Boomhauer takes him to Uglies.
Yeah. So
Uglies, a cowboy saloon.
Yeah, it is a cowboy saloon.
Uh-huh.
And so Boomhauer, being a ladies' man, he's at the bar. So you got Bill sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, Lenore and I used to come here and watch people."
Well, he's talking
dance
to
like
the bartender
that.
also.
Yeah, he's talking to the bartender. Yeah. And
he just has enough of it, runs out into traffic, and he's going to run in front of this diesel. It's just going to run him down. And then you see the perspective, and the diesel's like 3 blocks away or whatever. And Boomhauer comes running out and pulls him right back in.
Pulls him back inside. Well, it's funny because I like that scene too. So shout out to Wes Archer on the direction on that too. So you think the 18-wheeler is going to go straight and hit him. Yeah. Then the 18-wheeler honks their horn and then really slowly just takes a left turn instead of going straight.
Like a block away from
Like
him.
a block away, yeah.
There's a great scene in a movie called, you ever seen a movie called Top Secret?
No, I don't think I've seen that one.
So Top Secret is... who's the guy that was in Top Gun? Not Tom Cruise, but the other one?
Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer, yeah.
So Val Kilmer's the main guy in this, and he plays like this, almost like, you know the old Elvis movies? He plays that kind of character.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He's a rock and roller in Germany or whatever, making a surf movie. And he fights Nazis in this, right?
Oh, wow.
At one point... this is all about the perspective thing. At one point, you see this scene... And I will never forget this. There's just this big old-timey phone ringing off the hook, right? And there's a Nazi way over in the corner, and he hears the phone, and he comes to it. But then you realize that the phone is just, like, gigantic. So you see this forced perspective, but it's really just a giant phone.
Yeah.
Love that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we're back at Bill's, and the guys are in the kitchen talking, and Dale has had enough. He said, "I can't keep this up. It's not in my nature to care about others." Boomhauer says,
"Yeah, man, a little routine, no free time. Work, Bill, work, Bill, work, Bill. Got a bullet in my own head, man."
He said, "Got to put a bullet in his own head."
Wow.
Yikes.
But that is this is another trivia bit. So we don't know what Boomhauer does for work at this point, but this is the only mention. The only mention until you see his badge at that's the only time he ever says the word work or mentions working or having a job.
Well, Hank says, "Okay, I'm just going to take over you guys' shifts. I just got to work it out with my boss." With my boss.
Yeah.
Dale, what are you wearing? Dale's wearing
nothing.
He's wearing
his traditional shirt. Well, he's got Bill's shirt on underneath.
Well, he's got the silky one on.
Yeah,
underneath. He goes, "He's good as dead. What's the difference?"
Damn.
Jeez. So now we're at Strickland's. It's all decorated for Christmas. Hank is in Buck's office, and he says, "Sir, you know how I hate missing work during the holidays, but And Buck pipes in and says, "It's a Christmas party, right? Yeah, you need some time to set up. Well, you get it right. You invited a whole dang client sheet." "No, sir. Actually, it concerns a friend of mine, and well, it's a matter of life or death, really." Yeah. Just wrap it up one way or the other. We're gonna have Donna Xerox your vacation days. That's rough. That's a bad guy to work for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he didn't listen to a damn thing he said other than, "I'm just going to use up my vacation days."
Yeah, just make sure she Xeroxes your vacation days.
Yeesh.
Yeah, he's rough.
So we're back at the Hills. We're at the kitchen table. It is Hank and Peggy sitting there, and he goes, "I hadn't slept in 2 days. This morning, Bill tried to drown himself in the toilet. So you think you can find him a date?" Peggy's like, "Oh, God. I wouldn't want to have to try to find this dude a date."
Yeah.
Because I would have to invite a woman over for dinner and, of course, never tell her that Bill would be here. And Hank's just like, "Okay, thanks, Peggy." And now we're at the fateful dinner. Peggy has invited Mrs. Tobus over. Mrs. Tobus looks like the meanest woman I've ever seen in my life. She looks like a scary, ghostly librarian.
I don't remember what she looks like.
She's very,
I don't
she's
remember what she
very
looks like
rough.
either.
She's super crude looking.
She is in the show. Yeah, she looks really rough. Yeah, she looks.
You see this very angry woman sitting at one end.
Well, maybe she was happy because she's like, a blind date, and then she sees it's Belle, and just all happiness just left.
I think this woman has a permanent scowl on her face.
She probably does. It's that, and you know what? That is such a terrible trope for librarians too. To have like the.
Well, I don't know that she's a librarian.
Well,
I'm just saying she looks like a librarian.
Oh, looks like.
And what
what
I'm saying by that is she's got the frilly collar.
I got you.
The glasses, the tight
That's what
bun.
the librarians look like in the
Yeah.
80s. Yeah.
Well, and then they take their glasses off and they're all beautiful.
They're all beautiful.
That's how that works. Bill is sitting there with his military uniform on, with the iguana on his shoulder. Very angry woman at the head of the table.
Very angry.
He goes, "They won't let me have a knife. I'm in the middle of killing myself." "Do you like iguanas, Mrs. Tobus?"
I'm in the middle of killing myself.
Do you like iguanas? I just love how Bill has never met a period. He's just like, "I'm in the middle of killing myself. Do you like iguanas, Mrs. Tybus?"
Yeah, and then she looks over at Peggy. "You lied to me, Peggy."
She goes, "Well, Mr. Dotrieve is a collector of exotic reptilia. You collect throw pillows."
Yeah.
She says, "I have some pillows on my couch. Doesn't make me insane. And in answer to your question, I find iguanas to be filthy, repulsive creatures."
And then she says, "Why? I think we could all use a bath."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
Bill says that.
The iguana's presence, everybody needs to go bathe.
And she says, and then the iguana just pees all over Bill's shoulder.
All down his chest.
You
and
just
everything.
see
It's
it
nasty,
get dark,
yeah.
and he goes, "Well, when it's on your own." And she goes, "You are a gross man." He just breaks down and says, "Sheila, marry me." She's like, and the only one excited about this train wreck is Luann.
Well, she's excited.
Oh,
Yeah, it reminds
this is
her of being at
exciting.
Mama's house.
Yeah.
He won't have to come over anymore.
That's right. She says, Mrs. Tobin says, "I just want my coat. For the love of God, get me my coat." And he grabs her. He's going to grab her coat. Bill is. But then Ladybird sees Lenore the iguana
And goes for it,
and kind of freaks it out a little bit. So the iguana jumps down and runs across the table and out the window. That is a real problem for Bill. He says, "Lenore, don't leave me." And then Peggy has to tell Miss Tobus, "Sheila, I should tell you right now, I've given him your number."
Yeah, that was funny. Screwed.
Bill jumps out the window after the iguana, goes running for it, and then we see Hank run after him, and Bill is kind of running around looking. He goes inside, and then we see Dale come around from the side carrying Bill's TV.
Yeah, Bill's crazy.
Hank's like, "What are you doing?" He says, "Oh,
he would have wanted me to have
yeah,
it.
he would have wanted me to have it." He goes, "He's still alive. Nitpicking ain't gonna bring him back." Yeesh, Dale, come on. We're in Bill's.
I guess that's probably some of the darker stuff of the show. Is
he's just taking
how
his shit.
Dale is like stole his shirt, walking out of his house with his TV.
Yeah.
Well, Hank, nitpicking ain't gonna bring him back, and he's like,
He's gonna be dead anytime
like
now.
right there, yeah.
So we're in Bill's living room.
with friends like that, who needs enemies?
That's true. We're in Bill's living room with Bill and Hank. And Bill's just like, help me, Hank. He's grabbing onto his pants. He's on the floor. He's looking for Lenore. He says, Bill, can't you see this whole Lenore thing is your problem? The iguana, these presents, this old tree, get rid of this stuff. No, I couldn't. See, when she comes back, he goes, she's never coming back. Hank has reached his tipping point.
Yeah,
he's not slept.
Well, this is what he probably should have done to start with, is slap his buddy back into reality and kind of give him the harsh love that he needs and let him know is like, she don't want what's in this stupid box.
Doesn't want this stupid stocking.
She doesn't want what's in the stocking, the box.
I mean, he starts throwing.
She doesn't want anything.
He starts throwing those presents at the wall. He's crushing them with his feet. I mean,
he's done. He's fed up because those presents have been sitting there for 7 years.
It's
everything
so much all at once at the worst possible time.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, for sure.
And so
maybe I think, and again, I am no psychologist or anything or whatever.
Yeah.
I think maybe if everyone just got together, maybe gave him an intervention.
I think an intervention would have worked. I just don't think that this group believes in intervention.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't think that they're they have that mentality to do an intervention because literally when she said he needed a psychiatrist, Hank deflected and said he's not crazy, he's just suicidal.
Well,
which
basically,
is, that's a weird phrasing for that.
Well, basically, what happens here in a minute is kind of an intervention.
Yeah,
it's like a forced one for some reason, but it's forced on everybody else, not on Bill.
Not just on Bill. Everybody's got to deal with it. Yeah.
So he's stomping the boxes, he's throwing them a thing, and finally he's just like, okay, you feel all right? He said, I don't feel anything. Great. I knew you'd snap out of it. You sure you're okay?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yeah,
now,
so he completely shed himself of emotion at this point, and he's just on autopilot.
Yeah, and Hank's like, okay, good, we're done. He says, I can tell you were acting pretty weird there. And he says, all right, then, I'll see you tomorrow. And he just leaves. And Bill just slumps down the wall. You know that there's something going on with Bill at this point. He is pretty cracked.
It gets crazier. It gets darker.
So we're back in the Hills kitchen, and Hank is telling Peggy, I was really hard on him, but it was for the best. Can you imagine if he'd shown up at our party with Lenore? She goes, well, are you sure he's okay? He goes, I asked him twice, and then on top of the refrigerator, he sees Lenore. So he goes, oh, there's that lizard. Grabs a lizard, and he's going to take him back over to
he's going to go give him back to Bill,
Yeah. So he's over at Bill's house, and he's knocking on the door, and he's looking. Nobody's answering. He goes through, and then he sees a woman in the backyard with a dress on hanging up laundry. She's got a big sun hat on, and she's hanging up laundry. And he goes, hey, who are you? What are you doing in Bill's backyard? Oh, Hank, don't you recognize me? I'm Lenore. He goes, what is going on? Well, I'm just washing a dress for your big party, silly.
In this in this scene right here, I don't feel bad for Bill anymore. You get a real break. Like, you don't get very many emotional breakdowns from Hank, but, like, this is like, to me, I think this is like the first real like emotional breakdown.
Yeah, it's a pretty big breakdown for Hank.
Because he's had a lot of like other episodes where he hints and he.
I think it's just.
But this really breaks Hank.
I think it's
watching
the lack
his buddy
of
like
sleep.
this.
I think it's all of it.
It's all piled up.
Plus,
on
he
him.
can't control it. He doesn't understand emotions
all the other situations he controls and figures out and is able to navigate. But this one situation, because it's an outside element, it's not an element within his own home that he could control or like figure out kind of thing. It's like your buddy. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you to not feel this way or think this way, and you feel like, well, I'm a happy person. Dale's moderately happy. Boomhauer's happy. You're the only one in this group that has these issues, So
especially when you remember that Hank's only been with Peggy ever, so he's never had to be like lonely.
That's true.
Doesn't know what it's like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you guys hear something in the background, Mason is doing double duty right now. I just want to call him out for doing such a good job.
Yeah, he's doing crazy work right now. Yeah, he's literally recording 2 podcasts at once.
He's recording Bloody Happy Hour in one room, and then he's contributing to ours on the other board. So.
Okay, Michael, stop talking.
Good job.
Stop hearing it.
No, man, you're doing a good job.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you got to be recognized for what you do, man. You do some crazy stuff.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. So we're still in the backyard, and Hank is just like, Bill, take off that dress. He goes, why do you keep calling me Bill? My name is Lenore, silly. I've come back. I love the way his voice just cracks in and out the whole time. I've come back because I love Bill so much. I really missed him.
Hats off to Stephen Root on this episode right here, too.
Hank's like, nope, it's too much. In high school, you blocked for me. I did my job, too. I ran through the whole setting Arlen Heights single-season rushing record, as you recall, and now here I am blocking for you, but you're not even trying.
Yeah, he's not even trying.
He says, I don't even know what kind of game you're playing. Maybe some kind of crazy tennis. he says, "Oh, Hank, nice seeing you. I'll see you at the party." He said, "No.
You stay away,
you stay
from,
away
my party.
from my party." And Hank just leaves.
No party. You got that?
He goes, "I'm already invited, so there." He's just gonna come anyway.
Wow.
He's nuts. So we've got the three of them now: Hank, Dale, and Boomhauer in the alley, and they're out there drinking just like normal. And then in comes Bill walking in a yellow dress with his purse. And what kills me are the white gloves. Just
the little white gloves.
The little
Lenore.
white gloves.
I just don't, the Lenore that we. I just don't see Lenore being this character that wears like the actual Lenore.
I just love the touch of the white gloves.
I forget. It's not till like season 6 or 5 that we actually see her.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that later on.
Maybe their idea of her changed over time.
Doesn't she get dropped off by? No, that was Leanne's. That was Leanne.
Yeah,
she got dropped off by a trucker.
She shows up at the we already know when she shows up.
So he comes walking up with his dress, his pretty dress, his purse, his white gloves. "Oh, hello, do you gentlemen think you could share a beer for a lady?" He said, "Come on, Bill."
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, no, I don't know that. I'm Lenore. He just keeps going on about the Lenore. And,
well, if you're Lenore, then where's Bill, huh?
Bill's in the house. You want me to go get him?
I'm skeptical that you could, yet intrigued that you may.
Bill walks
Dale's
off.
Great.
Then he comes back, and he's now wearing a cardigan over his dress, and he goes, I needed a wrap. Bill's busy. It's chilly." Just says, "Yep." Hank says, "That's it," and he just leaves.
Yeah.
Now we're in the hill kitchen, and we are peeling potatoes.
And Hank's sitting there peeling the hell out of potatoes. So Peggy tells him, she goes, "Well, honey, you're peeling in anger. You should be able to get more than one French fry out of a whole Idaho." I like this, calls it an Idaho.
He said, "Yeah, maybe I am angry. I use my vacation days bathing that son of a bitch." Boy, if Hank is calling somebody a son of a bitch, he is mad.
This is the first bitch that we get in the season.
Really?
In the episode, I don't think, or in the show, period. That's the first time the word bitch is used in the show. That shows that the censors and stuff were pulling back in the 90s. And the late 90s, the TV censors were pulling back. That got to air on primetime television. Someone saying the word bitch.
For some reason, for me, when I hear somebody say "son of a bitch," it's all one word. Number one,
SONUVA,
and it's very it's a very Texas kind of. Maybe it's just Southern, but like I remember, my grandfather didn't cuss a lot or anything like that. Boy, but if he got to the point where he was calling somebody a son of a bitch, it was on.
Yeah, you're mad. If you're if you're calling somebody's mother a bitch, you're pretty pissed. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know the way Rusty said that. I've always, I know this is off track. I've always wanted to call somebody a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I just haven't had the chance yet. It's like to their face, it's not like just saying.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of like
big things coming in 2023.
Westerns. It reminds me of Western movies and stuff like that, where they're like, "We gotta catch that son of a bitch, dead or alive."
That's right.
No, wait. I mean, I've said it jokingly, where like I see a friend after a long time. I was like, "Man, you son of a bitch."
Yeah.
I never actually.
Yeah, it's either like you're extremely pissed off at somebody, or you just saw a buddy you haven't seen in a while. Or they do something slick, like they give you a gift you weren't expecting, or something a little more expensive than what you bought them, and you're like, "You son of a bitch, you shouldn't have done that."
Hank is pissed off though. He says he used his vacation days bathing that son of a bitch, and he threatens to crash my Christmas party. Peggy says he's not being an ingrate on purpose. The only way that Bill could get Lenore back was to become her.
Wow, that is a mind fuck.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some psychological basis to it. Well, yeah, no shit, Peggy. Thanks.
Here we go. I really like Luann's nugget of gold here. She goes, "Well, I don't know anything about psychology, but it sounds to me like Mr. Dautrieve needs closure. He needs to realize that Lenore is never coming back, and he just needs to move on with his life. It's the same thing Buckley's angel told me."
Peggy's like, "Well, Buckley's angel's the only one making sense here."
Yeah.
She says, how about I invite the real Lenore to the party and just settle this thing once and for all? Luann says, "I hope it works, but if they show up in the same dress, it'll be a disaster." That's what she's worried about. showing up in the same dress.
That's it.
So now we're at the Christmas party. This is a big old wing ding that they're having at the Hills house here. The whole place is decorated. They got the food out. They got the open bar. And Mr. Buck Strickland is telling Hank, listen, Hank, we got all our big clients here, big fish, little fish. So if you see some little fish cornering me, it's your job to pull me out. Hank says, well, we should treat all our clients like big fish, Mr. Strickland. He goes, yeah, good. Save that for the little fish.
Yeah.
In comes Bill. He is now in a dress with a big flowery hat.
He's Lenore
and
out
a cardigan.
To the max.
He takes his cardigan off, and it's just his hairy chest and a string of pearls.
The worst crowd he could do this.
It is pretty much the worst crowd.
It's not the best place to show up like that. Yeah.
Bobby, not even being impacted by any of this, comes up and says, "May I offer you a homemade tater tot, Mr. and Mrs. Dauterive?"
He might understand the situation better than anybody with that comment.
Well, that's true, I guess. Mr. Strickland says, "What the hell's going on here, Hank?"
I ordered a Santa.
Hank trying to diffuse the situation says, "I ordered a Santa, and this is some kind of mistake." And then he goes over to Bill. Bill, get out. Lenore. He goes, Bill, I want to stay and mingle. Lenore, who is me? Sure does love a party. Party, party, party. And then he pours himself a glass of wine and picks up a beer at the same time. That's not good. Bobby, phone call for your mother, and hands the phone to Peggy. Peggy. So in the script, it said, hello, Lenore. Oh, hold on. That is not what Peggy says. Peggy says, yellow.
Yellow.
My father, the only way he ever answers the phone
is yellow.
Yellow.
I do the same thing.
Yellow.
Not even knowing that I'm doing it.
Really?
Yellow.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't know where that comes from.
It's just a southern, maybe Texas. Where's your dad from? Only from Texas, or
my father?
Yeah, my dad is too. My dad answers the phone sometimes yellow, or he'll answer it sometimes depending on what mood he's in. If he's like in a mood when you call him, he'll say "speak." He'll answer the phone. He does that. It'll be not necessarily with me, but like I've seen him, like somebody calls him that he's already annoyed at whatever, and then the person that calls him is generally somebody who's generally annoying to him.
That's a rough one, man.
Speak.
I'm
damn.
Mr. Rusty's dad. I'm gonna steal that.
There you go.
I only ever do "What's up?" I'm on the culture.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that next time somebody calls me. I'm just gonna be like, speak, talk words.
So rough.
Yeah, that is rough. That's brash.
So,
the one I like is bueno.
Bueno. Peggy picks up the phone and says, "Yellow, Lenore. Oh, hold on, Bill. It's the real Lenore." And
what?
Bill's just like, "Huh?"
Yeah, he kind of slaps out of it.
She goes, "What? Oh, honey, you have to come by." Okay, how about I just hand the phone to Bill? Would really help if you could just tell him you send your love and. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, sure. I understand. Never mind, Bill. She hangs up the phone. So Lenore's not coming. That shock's not going to happen.
That was a joke. That had to have been like her trying to diffuse and calm the situation in some kind of weird way.
Well, no, I think she literally invited Lenore.
Oh, you think she legitimately invited?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know why she thought.
Yeah, but
in any universe,
I don't know why she thought that
that's
was a good
the thing,
idea.
Though. That's the thing that I found weird about that is why would she invite Lenore after 7 years of dealing with Bill? Wouldn't she?
Because she's trying to shock him.
Does
back?
she do it every year though?
No. It's because what she said earlier. She said she was going to invite her to the party and
also, how did they even have her phone number?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where Lenore is.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that 7 years of dealing with this crap, they were kind of finally fed up. So she invites Lenore to the deal. So then she goes out and she has to go find Lenore. And at this time, the internet, the
I'm
internet's
assuming
around.
they know where Lenore is.
She might not be. She might just be across town. That might be that kind of situation where
still in Texas.
She's still in Ireland. She might even just be still in Ireland. I mean, they got divorced. It's not like
she may live around the corner.
They beat each other to death.
No, I thought she ran off with somebody.
Well, I think she did too, but you don't have to run far when you're running with somebody. She probably just ran across town.
So at this point, the crowd starts turning on Bill. This is not the Christmas crowd that you want with a guy in a dress. Yeah. And they said, my God, look at this guy. This woman says, is this a joke? Because if it is, I don't get it. The other guy calls him a freak. Then Boomhauer comes up and says, I'll tell you what, man, it's getting ugly in here, man. Building that dress is going to get the ass whoop on him. And then the crowd turns even uglier. They say, go back to Hollywood. This isn't the Democratic National Convention. You crashed the wrong party.
So
that's a joke.
Joe Jack.
Joe Jack.
Joe Jack, yeah,
He
yeah,
crossed the
Wrong
party, honey. Yeah, and then
And that's what's crazy about this. And this,
they literally say, "We don't need your kind."
yeah, that is super, super crazy about this episode. So you get your first. This is the first television representation that I personally had ever seen of a transsexual like attitude or feelings, like because he's not really a transsexual. He's going through some kind of like mental psychosis that's causing him to disassociate from his actual self.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that you get this. So he's in this. At this party, and they're thinking he's there as a transsexual.
Yeah,
that's the reason why they're saying
the only other
that
one
kind of party. You know,
the only other one that I can pull from would be Klinger from MASH. He dressed up like a woman, but he was trying to get out. He was
trying to get kicked out of the service. Yeah.
So anyway, the crowd turns on him, and then Hank,
which was kind of exploiting the a transsexual attitude or mentality, is what that showed.
Oh,
It
sure,
kind of exploited it
absolutely.
a little bit.
Hank finally saves his friend, comes out wearing, I'm assuming, one of Peggy's dresses over his own clothes and says, "Woohoo! Yeah, now we're having
He's
fun."
really blocking.
That's right.
He's
It's
really
this kind of
blocking
party.
for Bill.
Anything goes. Extra fun. He does a little jig right there in front of everybody. Dale says, "Ooh, Hank, this wasn't on my invitation. Did you give Bill a special invitation?" Bill freaks out when he sees this, and he goes, "Stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it," and he just runs out.
Yep.
Peggy, left to kind of pick up the pieces, says, "Well, okie dokie, everyone. Let's play Boggle, huh? It's not usually played with such a large group, but it's Christmas, so let's sing a song." She's just trying real hard to diffuse this thing.
Yeah, they're trying. And then, I really like Hank's use of psychology in this episode. He really uses.
He did.
At the very end here, he really uses.
And he.
Like, I can't beat you in my way.
Yeah.
I can't beat you. I've tried. I've took care of you. I washed your ass. I changed your clothes.
I think Hank had to snap.
And then Hank snaps,
to
and
get
he's
to
like,
this point.
"Well, the only way to beat him is to just be him."
Yeah. So he runs after him out into the street. Bill thinks that Hank is making fun of him. He says, "Stop teasing me." He goes, "Bill, I am Lenore, and I don't love you." I just love how he goes into that voice.
I love it. I don't love you.
"No, Hank, I'm Lenore. I left you forever because you're lazy and no good. Lenore, we fight so loud all the neighbors can hear. We fight during the day. We fight during the night. Lenore, wait, we can work his stuff out. I'm a good husband." Hank continues with, "Bill, if I wanted to work things out, I would have called. I don't love you anymore. That's it. I don't love you." And then that's when you see Bill snap. And he's
Bill
like,
kinda snaps.
He's like, "That's all? That's why you left? It's as simple as that? And you didn't even have the courtesy to send me a Dear John letter?"
He starts to realize his own
He does,
worth.
yeah. He goes, "I tell you what, I consider that rude. And I'll tell you something, I am worth a Dear John letter. I'll tell you that right now. And there are a lot of women who would agree with me. So you know what? You go ahead. You get out. Get out. You don't deserve William Fontaine de la Dutree."
Well, he said his whole name on that one.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
So is that why he just held that torch for so long? Just because she said nothing?
I think so. I think she just up and left.
Yeah.
And he was like,
that is harsh. That's
it was
really harsh.
zero closure for him. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, there was no closure. So
He
yeah,
had
she
a
just
wife,
left
and
him.
then one day he didn't.
Yeah, she
You
just
know?
left him. But that's why she left
It
him.
was almost like she died, But it's even worse because she didn't die. She's still around. She just wants nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do
That's
with him
crazy. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
It is pretty messed up. And then he goes, "Okay, Bill, that's what I'm doing then." And he just takes off the dress, kind of symbolizing that Lenore is leaving, right?
And this right here, I like it because it ties the whole show together.
Yeah.
It takes away from the darkness of it. It alleviates all of the angst and anguish the show had. And then he goes,
"Yeah,
I
Bill
hit rock bottom there, didn't I, Hank?"
And he goes,
and
"Yep,
Hank goes,
and hard."
And then he goes, "Well, then it's all uphill from now." And then Hank goes, "Yep, the wind's at your back, buddy."
Merry Christmas, and they just stare
Merry
at the
Christmas.
stars. Yeah,
Yeah, that's and
then we see Dale come out in a dress behind him and goes, "Geek," because they're not in dresses anymore, and runs off.
Yeah, he took off right. Geet. He does that geet noise. Yeah,
And that's it. That's the end of it. Pretty dresses. That was
pretty dresses. That was a unique episode.
It's
yeah.
a unique episode. I enjoyed it.
I like the episode too. It does have a lot of the dark.
It's got a lot
a
of
really
dark pieces.
especially for a Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Like, come on, it's a Christmas episode.
It's
It
still
was so
very
dark.
good though. It definitely develops Bill a little more than we had. In the past,
it gives you an insight a little bit to what Bill has dealt with.
Sure.
This is the first episode to mention the name of Bill's ex-wife.
Really? I
Yep.
thought we had talked about Lenore before.
Nope, this is the first episode to mention her name.
Huh.
We talk about her, but not in name.
How
This is the
weird.
first mention of her name, and that she left him 7 years ago. So you do, they talk about Bill's ex-wife, but she's never given a name until this specific episode. So you know that he's divorced, but you don't know who he's divorced from.
It's crazy. It took him 3 seasons to do that.
No kidding.
Yeah,
right?
it is crazy,
Yeah.
but that's what I like about it because it's a development arc. You don't just get everything right at the beginning. It develops into something because if we would have known who Lenore was before this episode, it probably wouldn't. I don't think it would have had the same I don't think it would have felt the same if you would have known her name prior.
That's true.
I think it made it
That's true.
a harder hitting episode. The fact that they've alluded to this situation, but this is our first time that we really get and it's crazy too, to me, this particular episode that they didn't ease us into the darkness of Lenore and his relationship.
Yeah.
You get Lenore's name, you get the whole situation, and then you get this extreme darkness all in the same episode. They did it all at one time kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I like the episode where we actually do finally see her, but I kind of wish she never actually showed up. You know?
Lenore?
Yeah. I kind of wish
Yeah.
they left the illusion of Lenore too.
There was always something really cool to me with situation comedies or shows that had that character that you never saw.
The what was Norm's wife's name?
Yeah,
in Cheers?
exactly.
Or Maris in Frasier.
Yeah,
Just the character you never
exactly.
see.
You just never see them. Yeah.
Or no,
even,
the president for recent, the President Hughes and Veep. You never actually
there
see
you go.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or
I always like that as a comedic thing.
Or kind of like
cool.
in Tim the Tool Man, all you see
Yeah.
is his
Yeah.
neighbor's eyes or something. You only see like a
Yeah.
little bit, or you don't see the character at all.
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement, yeah, I like that stuff. So the episode that she does eventually pop up in is not till season 5 and is the only appearance of her, and it is Hank and the Great Glass Elevator. It's when
Yeah, I remember that.
Bill kind of ties up with Ann Richards, and you see Hank's ass.
Yeah,
He
in the
thinks
elevator.
everybody's gonna
Yeah.
moon in the elevator, but it was only him in the elevator
Yeah.
mooning. So
That's a
that's
good
the
one.
only appearance of Bill's wife,
Unless you
ex-wife.
count this one as Lizard Lenore.
Lizard Lenore,
Yeah.
which it does say in the trivia here.
Oh, what happens to the iguana? I want to know where the iguana goes.
I'm assuming it just ran off somewhere.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Hank found it on the top of his refrigerator.
we got some voices in this one too.
The true crime
I
of this
don't-
episode
I don't
is,
know
that
who does the
iguana
voice
just
here.
urinated all over their house overnight.
Jim Gottlieb. So Miss Tobis, let's see who she's voiced by, because apparently she has a voice actor. I didn't want to forget the voice actor here.
Yeah, sure.
So it's a voice actor by the name of Janet Waldo. Never heard of her.
Janet
So let's
Waldo,
look
we
her
found
up.
her.
So Janet Waldo. Ooh, wow. She is prolific in voice acting. Then, if you want to call the Jetsons.
Oh,
she
yeah.
She voiced Judy Jetson.
Oh, really?
She voiced Nancy in Shazam. She voiced
In what?
A cartoon
Shazam?
called Shazam. It
Okay.
aired from 67 to 68, and it was a genie. There's a genie in that episode called Shazam. Penelope Pitstop.
Penelope Pitstop.
She did
Who was she
Josie
in
and
Penelope
Josie and the
Pitstop?
Pussycats. She was on radio too. She was the title character in Meet Corliss Archer.
Who was she
never heard
in
of that.
Penelope Pitstop?
She was Penelope Pitstop.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
is
Oh,
Penelope
that's cool.
Pitstop, and not only is she Penelope Pitstop, she's Penelope Pitstop in both Wacky Races and The Perils of Penelope
Yeah, I was going to
Pitstop.
ask you if you knew who Penelope Pitstop was.
Yeah, I know exactly who she is.
She's the one that gets tied to the
Wacky
railroad
Races
tracks.
is actually one of my favorite ones. But yeah, so she was in Adam Ant and the Secret Squirrel Show.
She did all that Hanna-Barbera stuff.
Yeah, she was in a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff. She actually did some voices in Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? She voiced Morticia in the short-lived adaptation in 1973. She was the
Addams
voice
Family.
of... Yeah. She was the voice of Princess and Susan in the English language version of Kagaku Ninja Tai Gatchaman,
God bless you.
known as Battle of the Planets. And she did Hagatha
Wait, what?
in the
Wait,
Smurfs.
hang on. She was somebody in Battle of the Planets?
Yes, she was voice of Princess and Susan in Battle of the Planets.
What year?
I imagine the show came out in the 70s, right? Special Ninja Team
Yeah,
Gatchaman.
but you said something about the English language version. I guess that's just the dubbed version? Because Battle of the Planets is one of my all-time favorites.
Battle of the Planets came out like when you were like, that's your era of anime,
Battle of the
right?
Planets was probably Battle of the Planets and what's the one with the big battleship? Oh, there's a giant ship that goes through the sky. It looks like a regular battleship, but they're on it to going through space. You don't know?
You keep looking at me. This is before my time, man.
Yeah, no, she definitely, she definitely was a part of.
I don't think my dad was even alive at this point.
She was a part of that. She's definitely a part of that show. Yeah, so she was she was a part of the dubbed, I guess. Yeah, the English dub.
Yeah.
Whenever the English dub, I guess the English dub was released, similar to when the show came out.
There was Battle of the Planets.
Came out in 1972. So Battle of the
which is this.
It says it right here. Yeah, it says it right here.
But the
Battle
other one I was thinking of is oh shit! Now I had it. Star Troopers. No, Star
Troopers.
No, it's not Star Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
It's not that. No, I've screwed up.
But yeah, it says here, Battle of the Planets is an American adaptation of the Japanese anime Science Ninja Team Gotcha Man, 1972. So, out of the 105 original Gotcha Man episodes, 85 are used in the Battle of the Planets adaptation produced by Sandy Frank Entertainment. The adaptation was generally faithful to the plot and character development of the original Gotcha Man series, but significant additions and reductions were made in order to increase appeal to a North American television market of the late 1970s, as well as avoiding controversy from parents, which anybody who knows anything about anime, when it comes to the American market, they remove graphic violence, they remove profanity, remove nudity. Dragon Ball, whenever it was washed down for the American market, if you watch the original one, it's kind of funny because Goku, when he first meets Bulma, runs up and just like pats her on her crotch, trying to find out what her gender is. It's very funny stuff going on.
The other one I was talking about is called Star Blazers.
Star Blazers.
Yeah, Star Blazers is the big one. It was actually called Space Battleship Yamato.
Oh wow!
Which is named after an actual Japanese battleship.
Yeah, Yamamoto. Yeah, it was actually the largest battleship ever, still ever made.
So it has nothing to do with any of this, but that's what I was thinking of.
Well, that was the voice actor Janet Waldo. Yeah, so she is. If you've ever listened to Judy Jetson or anything like that, she is a prolific. That's prolific to me, and as far as animation goes. In 1990, she completed her role as Judy Jetson. That was the last time she ever played Judy Jetson in the Jetsons movie that came out in the 90s. So.
She was Princess, and who else?
Susan. Is that what it says? Something like that, Susan. But this lady's been around for a really long time on radio. She had a huge radio career. She was born in like 1911 or something like that. So she had a huge radio career.
I bet she looked just like that character in King of the Hill.
Maybe. She probably would at that time that was made because she has since passed.
So sorry.
I think. She died in 2016, but she was born in 1919. So you got to think she was around for radio. Actually, her husband's name was Robert E. Lee.
Battle of the Planets, these guys would dress up like birds and fight other people dressed like birds. And they were called G-Force. Was the name of the crew.
Yeah, so from what I'm reading here, she'd been on radio.
This has nothing to do with King
of the Hill. She'd been on the radio for a really long time, but her first TV appearance was, her name was Peggy, which is funny.
Wow.
Her first TV appearance, her name was Peggy as a teen, smitten with Ricky Ricardo on a 1952 episode of I Love Lucy titled The Young Fans.
It's like a fly in your Chardonnay.
She was 33.
Okay.
I turned 33 this year. She was 33 in 1952.
Somebody had to be.
Well, she was 33. That was her break on TV. She was 33 years old when she got her TV break. Well, that just shows you how much time there was in between her voice appearance on this in comparison to when
she did a lot of work.
Career, actually, by the time she did, but she was on the Andy Griffith Show. She was Emmy Lou for some early TV episodes of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet.
Okay.
So she was around for
a long
forever.
Time.
She was Beth Crane as a descendant of Ichabod Crane in the episode The Headless Horseman of Halloween from Scooby-Doo in 1976. And she also played Aggie Wilkins or Witch McCoy in the episode The Ozark Witch Switch in 1977.
Okay. So I feel like we've lost our way here just a bit.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. That's all about King of the Hill.
Gone down a rabbit hole. All right, Rusty, tell them where they can find us.
Guys, you can find us at Linktree. That's linktr.ee/BWAAAKOTH. That has all of our links there. That also has our Spotify playlist. We're going to erase that and clear that and add some a fresh playlist for the new year for you guys here pretty soon.
Are we?
Just 10 songs from you, 10 songs from me, just a 20-song playlist. We'll just delete it all, add 10 new songs.
I got some new stuff.
I have a few new songs to add on there too. Well, old songs, but new songs.
Sure.
For the playlist.
New to you.
New to the playlist. Probably not new to me, but just new to the playlist.
Sure.
I've been listening to. I don't know. I changed my music to what I'm listening to this month, so I'll add a few songs from my weird hippie mix of music that I've been listening to.
All right. You can also find us at roguemedianetwork.com, and we will be back with a Friday episode.
Yep. And again, guys, please, we still don't have anybody that's really put in for the AI thing. We only have one submission so far. So if you guys could get in some more submissions on that way we have more than one story to read. Or he wins the shirt by default if nobody wants to be competitive.
Yeah, we're giving away free T-shirts here, guys. All you got to do is come up with an AI. You don't even have to write the story.
AI. Don't have to write it.
Just like goad the AI into writing it.
Yep,
but we'll read whatever we've got, and whoever has the best story, we'll give away a shirt.
Yep, thank you so much.
So we will see you guys next time, and thanks to Mason, thanks to Rusty, I am Mike.
Wimatanye!
Wimatanye, indeed.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Breast milk science. It's a thing, and it's our thing. We're ByHeart. We're an infant formula company on a mission to get a lot closer to the most super food on the planet, breast milk. Our patented protein blend has more of the important and most abundant proteins found in breast milk. We're the first and only U.S.-made formula to use organic, grass-fed whole milk, not skim. We make our formula in our own factories in Iowa, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, using a small batch manufacturing process that works to preserve the integrity of our ingredients. We ran the largest clinical trial by a new infant formula company in 25 years, and clinically proved benefits like easier digestion, less gas, and softer poops versus a leading infant formula. We were the first infant formula company to earn the Clean Label Project Purity Award. And while we've put a lot into ByHeart, there's a long list of things you won't see on our ingredient list, like no corn syrup, no maltodextrin, no GMO ingredients, no soy, no palm oil. ByHeart, a better formula for formula. Learn more at byheart.com.